Hello. Today we're going to see a demonstration of the SAS cybersecurity solution. My name is Scott Monjo, and I'm a data scientist in the SAS cybersecurity group based near Amsterdam, Netherlands. In way of an introduction, the SAS cybersecurity solution fits into the NIST's cybersecurity framework in that it helps organizations to detect security anomalies and events. As well, the solution provides a UI where operators can analyze security events and respond. In addition, the SAS cybersecurity solution delivers data that can be aggregated and upon which advanced analytics can be conducted. Firstly, I'd like to bring up the SAS cybersecurity interface. What you see here is the SAS interface running in a web browser. I'm going to be playing the role of two cybersecurity professionals today. First of all, I'd like to play the role of the InfoSec manager. Now, as the manager, I'd like to get an oversight of what's happening on my network. And what we see here is the security overview dashboard. Along the left, we have a number of reports that provide insights into what types of alerts have popped up. For instance, alerts by department and by country. So here I can zoom in and see where particular countries have devices that are at risk. I can then also drill in and view those particular devices and get details about those risks. There's other details here, such as devices associated with executives that we're keeping an eye on. And we have information about threat feeds that are coming in, which are associated with particular IPs on our network. Today, I'm very interested in the events that are currently under investigation. So as the manager, I see here I have three particular events under investigation. One with the very high risk score that's been issued by the SAS cybersecurity solution. I'm going to send an email to our hunter or InfoSec investigator and have them follow up on this event. Now, as the InfoSec investigator, I'm presented with a detailed view of this particular IP, and I can see here there's a timeline and that each hour a risk score has been generated. And I can see for this IP that there's been some very high risk scores out of 100, and one in particular had caught the attention of the InfoSec group, which I'm currently following up on. But I can see that there's a general trend of high risk. Now, one thing I can see immediately is that this IP has connected to external IPs that were reported by our threat feed service as being associated with potential malicious activities. So in this case, I'm getting some details to see that this IP is connected to external IPs associated with a malware domain and potential botnet infections. I can also see where those external IPs are located. Down below here, we see a breakdown of what contributed to the risk score. In particular, I see that there were a high number of external destination IPs in comparison to the peer group for this IP. Indeed, it was more than 12 standard deviations higher than the peer group average. I can also see that there's similarly quite a lot of external destination ports that were connected to, and I can see very high UDP activity. At this point, I may be interested to see what devices this IP was interacting with. So this view allows me to get some insight into the particular IPs and URLs that this IP was connecting with externally. I can also view this as a chart. So I can see here that there appears to be a number of international IPs that were connected to. One of these appears to be a home address. And so I'm quite interested to get some more information to see why this IP has been connecting to so many external IPs. I also see that the URLs for these IPs in many cases have nonsensical or somewhat random names that have been resolved, and this can often be an indication of a potential botnet infection. Well, I'd like to see that because that's indeed the indication the system has given me. So at this point, I'll go into my dashboards. And here, there's a number of pre-configured dashboards available. I can even create my own custom dashboard. But because I'm following up on a potential botnet infection, I'm going to take a look at activity by protocol. And I can see, for instance, there's been a number of TCP-related events. But the ones I'm most interested in, and it looks like there's been quite a high level of activity concerning, is UDP events. And indeed, when I drill down on UDP, I see here that there's been very high BitTorrent associated activity. So if I drill down on that, I can see exposed here all of the external destination IPs associated with BitTorrent activity. And I can see the URLs and also the, when available, the resolved domain names. So I can also drill down on particular IPs and look up to see if they are potentially associated with known threats. And indeed, a number of these are associated with potential malicious activities. So zooming down, I can see, again, there's a great deal of UDP-associated activity. There's a lot of nonsensical resolved domain names. And I can also see that the number of bytes sent are uniform, 131 bytes. And this is often the indication that there may be distributed exfiltration going on. And so I'm going to confirm this as a quite likely a botnet associated malware infection and move on to resolution. So that'll give you a good sense and a very brief overview of the SAS cybersecurity solution, from the high level of the InfoSec manager down to the InfoSec investigator and potentially then to a hunter. So with that, I will thank you for watching this demonstration and hope that you might be interested to see a more detailed demonstration of the SAS cybersecurity solution. Would be happy to visit and show you the system in more detail and discuss how your organization could conduct a proof of concept. Thank you and good day.